work lands back in. So 2 weeks since weaning. Jack wants the camera. So we're going to put them in. Then we're going to get some ewes in ready for crutching tomorrow, the next day. And a bit of jetting, 30 fly, something to get around. And quick starting to wear out on the ewes. We gave them at land marking. So get them in, put a little bit of eye neck on them. And so we're hoping to shear them mid to late January. And so that should be able to get them through that period. It's 20th December today, so yeah, we've got a little bit of time. Anyway, we'll get these roguey lambs in. It always takes a little bit after weaning to keep sorting them out. You here, but put them back on the paddock and keep the feed up to them. You know, beautiful Sunday here, and yeah, we'll get up it. Nearly got these lambs down here to the gate, down to the flat. So some of these flats we cut there for silage about 4 weeks ago. Lambs are going well on it. These ones have been here for 2 weeks, and then some further down have only been there for a week or so. So we're just going to grab these ewes. So this is a paddock we had into wheat, with lamb ewes down in it and all that. So very lucky to get it up to where it was. So obviously definitely ran its course, and there's not much feed value here now. It's got these freshly weaned ewes in here, so they'll go get crutched, but probably try and spray this out next couple of days. Would have liked to have done it a little bit earlier, but so be it. So this paddock will go to Lucerne next year. It's L56. It's got a pretty good bite trough for root rating, so hopefully that might help with some of the issues we've had. But reasonably clean, pretty happy, just wheat mostly. So you'd only got one in-crop spray for a bit of thistle and a couple of sage. A little bit of goose foot coming, but yeah, nothing. A litre and a half of Roundup won't get. But yeah, anyway, it's a nice Sunday here, and these ewes look pretty well. It'll be interesting to get a hand on them and yeah, run them through the jetter and yeah, get them short in mid-January. So we've got the two brothers here working, Bill and Yogi. So Bill got injured about 3 weeks ago, got his shoulder torn open, so sort of second day back on action. A few rocks here, so over. But yeah, it's good to see them work together, work pretty well together. What are you doing there? Work, Jack's got the camera. Good work. Camera work, Jack. I love these 28-foot gateways, so let's put them in for the cedar. It's been fantastic for stock flow though. Here, hop up here! Don't have too much issue with big mobs like this that just flow through, you know, come to fight them. And, yeah, it's been a nice side effect. You know, a little bit dearer to put in and a bit more work. It's been actually really good. Mobbed up here together now. Oh, look at this. He's asleep. Oh, it's so bumpy. I don't know how he's doing it. And yeah, he must be very tired. Pretty happy though. Hopefully he doesn't have to wake up with a crook neck. Boy. Just coming up from the gate here now. It's only a little 12-footer. Fair size mob here. I'd say 1,300 or something like that, maybe a bit more. Anyway, it really makes you appreciate the big double 14-footer. You know, we'll get through there and they'll poke through. So I'll get this mob through this gate, let them in that paddock. It's going to go for a quick scout around the other end of the paddock. Whoop. Fairly rocky, so you can see where I've sprayed out. It's really hard when you're opening up new country. This actually has been sown probably 20 odd years ago, but anyway, it's got to work out where you can and can't go, and generally bite off a bit more than you can chew. But I think there's a few little areas that I probably can grab in the next bit, so it's not going to be perfect this first year, but it's a start. Anyway, yeah, they're poking through the gate nicely. We're all trained. Fair few older girls in here. A lot of red taggers, but some young ones and some yellows, so that'll make them 7 next year. So we might have to go through now the ewes and whatever's a little bit iffy, probably can move on, and then yeah, we'll keep whatever can rear a lamb and are reasonably healthy. So once we shear these, we'll go through condition score them, and anything that's below that sort of 2 mark, we'll give a little bit extra helping hand, a bit of grain, perhaps a bit of silage, and preferential treatment in the paddocks. Anyway, the co-pilot's still asleep. I think he'll be right for a little while. And shoot up over here while those girls poke through that gate there, no pressure, and see if I've missed any. So just poking over the back end of this paddock, and just interesting to see how everything's sort of come back. Had this paddock fairly well chewed down, but didn't chew it right towards, especially these corners over here. But still a bit thin on the ground there, but a fair bit of rock there with that. But we're going to see some of these perennials seeding down. However, a bit of this is called corkscrew or stiper, which can be quite troubling to stop when it sets seed. It burrows into them. So we try and keep woolly sheep out of it. So, but it's relatively okay at the minute. We've got another month or so to wait. So with a few Shawnees spoken about, we can utilise it there. But yeah, good to just let this country go and do its thing. Yeah, we're not out of the woods yet, but the rain we had the other day, it's going to make a big difference. So we're in this paddock there now. There was none over the other side of the hill there, which is good. So this will go to loosen next year as well. This had wheat. It was pretty handy for lambing. Lamb, maiden, ewes were joined the white suffix in here. They were singles. It's a little bit of rubbish, fur, bit of mallow, so probably a bit of oxyfluralin in with as a spike, and some grey scotch. So a bit of diet Canberra as well, possibly a bit of ester. So yeah, this had an in-crop, but it's always been pretty fizzly through this patch here especially. It's actually really nice dirt here and pretty good, always seems to be wet. We call this paddock the swamp, so this part here has always had pretty good growth on it, so I'm really keen to see what Lucian will do and how it'll go. It's a bit of rock as well. Love to be able to pick it up, but I just don't think we're going to have the time to get it done. Machinery, but one of those things, it's going to be a work in progress. You know, the ewes are quite happy here. All those fishes will be great to get on and control them. But those willows, even though they're a pain in the ass of the tree, they really good shelter, and I think we had a decent lambing here. We did have to lose a few with dystocia. Always going to be an issue with maidens, especially joined to a terminal such as Suffolk, but that's why we chose Suffolk, better than Dorset. You know, these old ducks will walk over here, right? We've got to go over the creek and then into the shed. Yeah. So he just woke up. He donked his head on that. We got a little bump, but he's pretty amazing how much bump he was and how he stayed asleep. Jack, you gonna go back to sleep? No. What are we doing? Are we pushing barbars around? Meh. Meh. That's right. Good boy. He's a good helper. Can sort of sit here for a few hours and not complain too badly. So it's very nice company. Nice to be able to do it on a Sunday. Anyway, these girls are walking along okay. I just want to let them walk out, I reckon. Not a big fan of pushing if you don't have to. For a little bit of time, and they sort of walk in the right direction, let them do their thing. We'll put a bit of heat on them when we get a bit closer. So again, these big double gates are bloody handy. Poke this big mob through, no drums at all. Even though the other gate wasn't that big a deal. Old girls know what they're doing, but yeah, it certainly makes a difference with stock flow. Just poking through. Nice and easy like. no stress, just poke along. See there's one's a little bit ordinary at the back there, but most of them are pretty good. Bit of wool on them, variable in length because of the different purchases we've bought over to get into these ewes, but so far so good. Yeah, we'll get them over this creek and then into the yard. So this paddock here, we cut silage there about a month ago, and so we had wheat and old loosen stand that was starting to run out, so made really good silage, got a lot of bales, pretty happy, pretty pleased considering coming out of drought. So I'm thinking I'll touch this up with a bit of Roundup just to blow any loosen down here and come back with some triticale probably in March if it all goes to plan, if we keep getting a bit of rain, and probably try and get another cut off it November next year, and a little bit of grazing if we can fit her in. Anyway, these are great, these flats. They're really heavy soils, got a pretty low water table, or high water table I should say. For lucerne, they love lucerne, but soil's very heavy, very black, high in clay, so establish small seeds, and this is painful. You sort of need rain coming just as you finish sowing, and then you need follow up probably 10 days later. Crushed up pretty bad. High in magnesium, so it's got structural issues, but huge fertility. Phosphorus and potassium through the roof, so no issues there. Good pH, very high CEC, so holds onto its minerals. That's our friend there. So anyway, that's enough about that. So this is the same paddock over here. Sheep hadn't been hanging on this side as much, so there's still a bit of lucerne there. It's just a bit thin. This is why we've been popping up with cereal. So we're getting close to the shed now. Got the girls across the creek, no dramas. Odd lamb has come back from weaning, so we'll pull them out. There's always a little bit of that goes on. Anyway, so getting there. A bit of a journey for old Bill after his injuries. Starting to get a bit steady now, but he's done really well. Just going for the double gates up here is always a little bit of a challenge. Probably need to fence a little bit of a wing in around those trees and getting across the road. So I've got mums up in the road there, so once we get there, they poke up that way, she can turn them, we'll get them in, and it shouldn't be much of a problem. Hey Jack. So I'm just down here feeding some lambs, so we're just getting started on grain. Just following them along here now. Got a few kangaroos bouncing through there as well. So even though there's plenty of feed, we're going to get them going on grain because we want to try and join the ewe lambs about 7 months. So to do that, we really need them to pack the weight on. But when you start feeding grain, there can be some metabolic issues, specifically grain poisoning. So when you just putting a bit of grain out here for these lambs today. This is the 4th day they've had a feed. So obviously there's a bit of feed here, and the paddocks down there are pretty good, so we're not bad for feed. But the reason we are doing it is to try and get them to pump along a bit better. So when you're feeding grain, you've got to introduce them slowly, so otherwise they can get some metabolic issues such as acidosis. So the idea is to get their gut biome to change and stay consistent. So if you don't, what happens is that bugs that are actually able to process the grain in the rumen start producing acid, so the pH of the rumen drops and then they get crook. But if you can keep it consistent and slowly bring the amount up every day, you generally have a lot less issues. Also roughage helps and a few other bits and pieces, but it's probably the best way to do it. So probably tomorrow or the next day, even maybe the day after that, we'll go into self-feeders and going to aim to give these guys about 150 to 200 grams per head per day. They're also getting coarse salt. So some research out at the grain centre showing approximately 17% pickup in weight gain on lucerne alone, which is pretty remarkable. I suspect there's something to do with the sodium availability. Anyway, a little bit going on here, and it's also good to get around these lands every day and see how they are and keep an eye on them. Very pleased how they're going, got their heads down chewing, so that's very good. Anyway, we'll go do a couple more mobs and put some sheep in the shed for crutching tomorrow. I'm trying to start whacking these ewes in, waiting for the dog to come down, see if he'll come down. I have to go get him. He's anyway, we'll see how we go. Sometimes they actually run really well, sometimes they don't. once you get them started though, no dramas. Come on, girl. Ooh, might be better off waiting for a dog. Alright, we'll just give them a little bit of a feather back here and just let them sit there for a minute and they might just roll on in. Suspect we have to give them a little bit more motivation than that though. Okay. Come on, girls. Hey, 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 hey. Might have a dog, I reckon. Alright, that's alright. Got it all opened up. So once they actually start running here, it works really, really well. I should probably turn the lights on too, they won't hurt. But it's amazing how well they actually run once you get them going. And then it takes a little while to pen off, but not terribly. It's a nice big shed. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with how it all works. A couple of little things that always need a little bit of maintenance, but we've been pretty good in keeping on top of that, which is very pleasing. Like there was a gate break there on Friday, welding him up just so he doesn't cause any issues down the track. One of those things you can leave it, and probably never get to it and just destroy it and be a bigger job down the track. Alright, let's go get a dog and there we go. So we've got the time lapse set up in the shed. Hopefully it hasn't fallen off, but we'll see if we can get it to all come together in one shot. Anyway, they're following in fairly well, these girls. Go back. You can sort of keep the momentum. Works really well. We built these yards on the hill, which makes things a little bit difficult, but anyway, all along, girls. That's it. So it's just flowing in quite nicely. Follow the leader. Anyway, we'll get them in there and then we'll pen them off and bring the other mob around. Righto. Make sure they're good dogs. Sit down. Alright, we'll grab this last little bunch for this mob. Go back. Clangy these tells bells I got. Go back. Very handy tool we've been using, especially for lambs, to get them to move. Don't know how to use it, really, really effective. Much better on the stock, don't have to push them around. Now these dogs got this pretty well sorted. They had a nice breast for the afternoon, so they're pretty fresh. Sit down. A few lambs to pull out, but we'll get them out when after they crutch them. You can see flowing very nicely. Just what pens they end up in is going to be the next question, but that's okay. It doesn't take that long to pen them out. So you can fit about 1,200 woolies in this shed normally. All going well. So last week Sam and Dad put a few in that machinery shed just to keep 1,600 dry for shearers, which was 2 days, which got us through. Fantastic. I think with a bit of work we could probably get 2,500 to 3,000 if we really had to, but it'd be a push. So anyway, Shawnee's wise, yeah, definitely 3,000 with underneath and a bit of mucking around. When we're just gutting the old shearing shed, and that'll give us a bit more room. It's going to set up a set of yards in there and definitely be able to shed a lot in there, probably another 500-600, possibly a few more. Should be handy. Also be a great working space for a new sheep handler. I'll have a look at that later, but it's there's a pari, so it'll live in there mostly. On portable, you can go to the new Mapra yards, but yeah, so that's a new addition which we have to go through at some stage. But anyway, I'm pretty pleased how these all ran in. It's only been 2 minutes, 2.5 minutes on the clock here, so yeah, pretty good. Have a look see here, see she's still there. I'll let her keep going and we'll pen these girls off. Anyway, look at that, no worries at all, easy as so with penning off, you just want to make sure they're not too tight so they don't smother each other, and we've got plenty of room. Generally they can sort themselves out fairly well, and just obviously you want to try and have it so you can have it as efficient as possible as well. There we go, so penning off is just essentially closing the pens, but just going through the sheep, making sure they're not too tight. So probably get a few more in that pen there, but I'm pretty happy. Like, no need to go overboard, not rain forecast, and It's all about sort of their safety too. They don't want them to be uncomfortable. Anyway, so you just try and poke them a few into the catching pens so they're ready for the series tomorrow. It's a bit hard to need to shut this gate, but anyway, we'll put a few more on that pen and then do that. Here, dogs! But like I said, too much in here at the minute, but by the time I empty this forward like that and close the pens off, it should be about right. Come on, girls. It's a pretty mixed grouping of sheep here. Orange tags, blue tags, yellows, reds, but not many whites. It's just ones we happen to buy, but pretty pleased with them overall. There's obviously a fairly big range of them. Yeah, they're in good order. I've had to put my hand on a few. It'll be good to get a bit more of a handle on how their condition is, but considering not long weaned, and I think they're going all right. So aim is to get them to about 3.2 at least for joining. So about 15 weeks of my calculations are getting there. So that girl there is about 3 already. But ones when we're sure, sort of around 2.2, 2.3 is where they were sitting in my mind. So I'm pretty happy how many's in that pen. Like I say, you can probably get a few more, but pretty comfortable. Just poke a few into this catching pen here. So there's a ewe I was sure before. She had pretty bad fly strikes. This is why we're crutching reapplying re-jetting. So quite bad over the back flank. Anyway, shearing's probably the best way to get it off them, then still apply some, we're using a Cinesat in this instance, pretty safe on them and a lot softer than using diazinon. Yeah, generally the best way is get the wool off them, try and clean them up. She looks a bit rough because I'm not the best shearer and gear wasn't particularly great, but we got the job done, and I'll just let her sit there for a minute and she can go down the chute tomorrow with these girls and get jetted and back to the paddock. Anyway, we'll keep plodding along here, but we nearly got these penned off. Got to shut that gate there and walk back through these, and we'll go grab another mob. So as you can see, I've sort of got them pretty well organised. So it leaves 4 big pens for these next mob to start in. So it's a good clear cut, which is always pleasing to have. You can't always achieve it. There's no point in pushing the limits with packing your pens, but I think that's quite good. So once I've finished putting the other ones in the shed, I'll walk through all those and just make sure everyone's happy and not too tight. Pretty important. Anyway, we'll go grab this other mob from another set of yards and whack them in, and then we'll make sure the shed's ready to go, and we're getting pretty close. Grabbing these next mob. I'll stand here so they don't all pile through the gate. It's definitely a pretty good idea if you can get the dogs to push them out. So I'll probably grab them in 2 licks. Some penned off the back there. Fairly hard push to pen these yards off the way it's sort of set up. So I think, yeah, I'll take most of this mob anyway, and probably grab the rest in a second. You know, these girls have done this before, so they know where they're going. A little bit of dust coming up from the yards again. So after that 40 mil that had this block there, I think that was what, Wednesday. She's still dusty again. Anyway, that's okay. These ewes are a little, yeah, they're pretty good. A lot more younger ewes in this mob, but I think once we get a bit organised, we'll go through and sort out the age groups and how everyone's travelling, and pull out anything that's struggling a bit, and give them an extra helping hand. Yeah, this will be quite a good mob to try and get in first. I think we should be able to achieve it. You know, dogs are on fire, so that's good. I probably should have shut that gate. I'll click down there now and grab it. Could have been a bit of a catastrophe. Anyway, we'll get them in. So this is what I'm talking about. It's probably too big of a mob, but the way we've got this set up is we should put a laneway in. It's going to be one of the things to do, but anyway, can make it work. Here, dogs, come around here. Go back. So because you're sort of working against yourself, every time you walk down that way, you cause trouble. Here, Yogi. it causes them to go back on themselves. But generally, if you get them to start, you get through to that next pen, you're probably in fairly good stead. Dogs know what they're doing anyway. Get them to sort of curl around, keep curling around, go back. Sheep sort of tend to, it's not probably the way we're probably working, it's not right, but they tend to circle. Generally it's where the dog pressure is, and they'd say you're probably not doing it quite right, but you can use that to your advantage sometimes when you're trying to get them through gateways. Get them to circle into the gateway or along the fence. So they're sort of circling there now. Anyway, I think it's a bit of a natural pattern of things, and they very much follow the leader sort of type of animals. They can see their mates, so oh, that's all right, we'll walk down there and have a look. But so what I might have to do here is jump the fence, get them to start in that gateway there, and then hopefully they might follow themselves down. As long as I get them all in this pen, I can apply enough force to push them down towards the shed. Here, hop over here. So here's my issue. So I'm going against the grain here, but anyway, if we can put the force down this fence line here. Here, push up. At least even fill this pen up. Here, hop over here. Yogi, get over. Yogi, hop over. Yogi, hop over. Get over. Go back. So we use the dogs to contain them there, and means so he can push them in. Just get them to start. We'll be in business. Not quite. Anyway, even if I walk through them, create enough room, we might just get a win. Not a bad tactic when you're stuck just to walk through them, because they tend to walk away from you, of course. So it's a good way of packing races up, etc. They go walk against them. Other thing is sheep like to do is walk uphill, so the yards are sort of set up wrong for that. Walk uphill and into the wind for some reason. They must be trying to get away from it, or find where they can get it blocked from it. So for instance, if we're walking sheep up the road, generally in the summer there's an easterly most or 70% of the evening, so we can, if we're walking them in the east direction, we generally wait to the evening to walk them into that, and they'll walk quite better. And then if we're walking west to say the other farm, if we can get a westerly, it definitely probably cuts the walking time in half. Anyway, it doesn't always work to your favour, but also when you're mustering, you can find stock. Look where the sort of prevailing wind is, and they'll be up against it generally. Depends on the rest of the day and stuff, but that's generally a good rule of thumb to start in a paddock. Anyway, we've nearly got them in here. See my problem? There's not quite enough room. I think they'll start. Come on, girls. Maybe if I walk through them once more, we might have a chance. Yeah, I think we got, there we go. Come on, have a look. Come on, plenty of room there. It's getting away from you. There you go, come on. I think I'll walk back against them. By the time I do that, they might nearly sort themselves out. If not, at least we can shut these gates. We've got sort of the battle half won. Another thing is it's not too wool blind, just odd one like that girl there, starting to get a little bit wool blind, makes it a little bit harder for them to move. Obviously they can't see where they're going, so after crutching they generally do flow a little bit better. Of course you'd hate to have wool stuck in your eyes, you can't see where you're going. It'll still be a bit more comfortable as well. So crutch is essentially what it sounds like around there, essentially their arse. You're taking that stain off, so it's trying to remove anything that's going to cause fly strike. The main thing, and also it improves the wool quality. So normally you crutch sort of 6 or 7 months, and that should get you generally for shearing. These guys will be shorn closer, but it'll be nice to have a nice clean crutch. It'll help help with wool quality. Rouse is pretty good at picking out the stain, but they don't always. It's not an easy job, especially on uncrutched sheep. So in weathers, you also crutch around the pizzle. Oh, they've opened that gate. That's fantastic. We'll be nice and steady here. What are you doing, girls? Here, dogs. Here, dogs. Here, dogs. Go back. Here, sorry here, mate. Sorry here, mate. Go back. Go back, Dobby. Stop. Stop. Good dog. Poke him out there nicely. That'll work. Get away out. So we must have to fix that latch, don't we? A few things, jobs to do. There's always infrastructure jobs to do, and we've got a big list of them and working through it. But we'll get there. That's something I find quite hard, is the never-ending list of jobs that you want to achieve to get done to make the job better and make things easier and do it all better. But I suppose you just got to do what's the most pressing and bat on. Anyway, I'll put the camera down and try and finish this job off. So, I'm starting to get them down here now. We're sort of going to get them to flow, and we have to do a bit better job with these gates. Generally, once they start to go, they go fairly well. Come on, girls. I'll just let them sit there and I'll walk back this way and let a few more poke in. So it's all, I don't know, I suppose work the shards, but there's probably better ways of doing it. But yeah, if you can get them to sort of start and have a bit of a draw, they walk down fairly well. So that's half the battle, isn't it? This big pen is probably good for getting sheep into, but it's a fraction big for getting them out. A couple of modifications to it, but yeah, overall it works pretty well. It's got to probably do a bit better job with the gates and things like that. See how they're just starting to flow there now? So hopefully we can get them to walk onto the next pen. So it's good how it's split up into a lot of pens you can then apply force. Also it's been handy just for organising sheep and having cutouts, but also when we used to sell big wings of wethers, good storage area for them, and they sort of presented quite well out here at times. Just a little trick of the trade, you can sit them on a hill. It's probably facing the wrong way, but generally looks pretty good. Also we used to present them in the shed there, have them reasonably tight. Yeah, always seem to get a reasonably good result with the buyer. It was, yeah, having those big numbers was quite a good way of marketing them if you had them. So it'd be interesting to see how we do with the lambs. Obviously it's going to be a different game. At some stage we're going to have to sell the big wing ewes, so that'll be a bit like what we've been doing for them. There we go. I'm not putting heaps of pressure on them, just letting them poke down. It's definitely the way to do it, I think. So I just grabbed a bunch here. I think there used to be enough to fill the shed up. Here! Dobby! Yogi! Dogs always like going right to the back. Our dogs aren't very well trained. They go alright, but they'll be a lot better. Hop over here, come on! Always causing trouble. Well, not really, pretty good. Here, come on! They're just doing what they think is going to need the next job. Come on, hop over here! Here! Come on! You can see the mob moving with them coming. Here, come on! Come on, yo, you can see that big tail. Where's Dobby? Dobby, you can see him. Here, come on. Come on. Sooty, good boy. Here, Sooty. Come here. Oi, Sooty. Come on, mate. Good boys. All right, let's push these up. Hey. I'm starting to get up there now. Yeah, like I think this will be pretty well enough to fill the shed, and then I'll push that other mob down. Grab the other one. So once there's always having a mob in the yard helps bring them, draw them. So follow the leader a bit. So draw is always helpful. Plenty of people use mirrors and things like that in yards, pictures of sheep. Don't think we'll ever worry too much about that, but you never know. Come on, girls. So the pens, as you come down the hill, get smaller and smaller. Just so you can apply more force, but also just the way it sort of come together. Same in the sheds. You've got 4 big pens, pretty similar size at the back, and you go into 3s, and then you go into 3s all the way into the catching pens. They get smaller and smaller, so for force. And then it seems to work reasonably well. So I'm just getting this electro dip ready. I'm going to feed a few sheep after this, but put a bit of water in it, and generally like to give it a bit of a flush before we first sort of go of the season on all the shit that's in it. Drop that out. Got that. What kind of rubbish is in there? Yeah, a little bit of crap, not too bad. This one's generally worse. It just gets in the filter when we use it, but I'll let them drop and fill them up. I'm going to go feed some sheep. I can sit there and drop. We're not getting pissed off. So just getting these girls in, finish off the day for a bit of jetting. So getting about 400 odd, maybe a bit more per tank, which is pretty good. It's all been working pretty well. They're running reasonably well. And, yeah. Hi up. Geez, they run well for this thing most of the time. Just gotta get them started and keep them going. Keep their heads straight. So good. I've got the dogs and me doing these in a minute. Just keep up to them, it's fantastic. Probably slowest bits of water, change that over. Yeah, fantastic machine. Here's the goody tips. Like, it's got a really high pressure come through pretty quickly, big storms and stuff. You whip through your whole block quite quickly. Come on, girl. Well, this girl's probably going to be once and then no worries at all. You get the old one, it walks, but you just have to let them go through and they'll generally follow fairly well. Standing position is pretty important. Yeah! Good boy, Bill. See that dog descent. Anyway, it's working pretty well. Go back, Bill. Pretty happy with the crutch. Like I say, pretty light crutch, so that's alright. That's what we want. I'll get some more something to do tomorrow, so I might try and jump on and do a few if I get time. Yeah. I'm just putting this chemical away from this electro dip and thought I'd quickly run through how it works before I put everything away. So obviously sheep run in, she's got a magic eye, just where those clear plates are, pretty much like your door that you come through in a supermarket. So that turns these jets on. So there's four, I'm not sure you can see there, a heap of jets there, where those grills are through the sides, and then some underneath. So it gets really good coverage, and then some at the front there as well. Gets great coverage on the sheep. So it's running about 90 to 100 psi. The gauge up there. She's really good penetration into the wool. Doesn't hurt them because obviously they've got the wool. But if the drops below, I think it's 60 or 70, it shuts the gates automatically. So therefore making sure they get a proper coverage. So we're just running it off 2 old IBCs or chemical shuttles. Probably need a third if we're doing big numbers, but yeah, you can comfortably do 1,000, 1,200 an hour without too much fuss. Just essentially a big boom spray pump, run with a Honda motor. But yeah, pretty straightforward. So we're just using Ivermec here at the minute, like just Jetaway it's called. So it's a bit of lice activity as well, but it's only probably going to give them maybe 6 to 8 weeks at best, but that's enough. So we're going to shear them probably, hopefully, in the middle of January, a bit later. We just did the rams because we had a little bit left over, and it's always good to keep the flies off them as well, being such a valuable animal. Anyway, that's just how that works. It's a very handy machine. I've had it for about 6 years and countless numbers of sheep going through it, and been great with the weather, especially when we're trading. We can put a bit of lice treatment in with the brew and get just a little bit of suppression if we're just a bit unsure of where they come from till we shore them. Yeah. Oh yeah, so you got to plug it into a 12 volt power source. So we just put an Anson plug and plug it into a ute or a buggy. Just seems the easiest way. You can normally just put a battery or whatever it is, but that seems to work fairly well for us. And that runs the Magic Eye. Probably get a portable battery at some stage with anyway. Filters all over it, so it's pretty fine mesh, so it doesn't block the jets. Little maintenance to it. Wheels, you can wheel it up and down. The thing normally it's got a hood on it, and the sheep seem to run better without it. You can adjust this in and out. I've got to open up as far as it can for the rams, but you can fend it up if you want to slow them down a bit and get a bit more coverage. Generally with adult sheep, between 2 to 3 litres per head, which is more than enough if you've got enough chemistry in your brew. Yeah, anyway, it's a good machine. Saved us a lot of labour over the years, and been really good for jumping a fly wave when it starts to happen quickly. Hey, Bill.